After creating websites for over 15 years for companies and brands of all shapes and sizes, I've seen it all. And I put together a list of the top 10 website mistakes that are scaring away your visitors before they are taking action. So if you're tired of missing out on sales, leads, and conversions, you're gonna wanna watch this till the end. Now, number 10 is the biggest and most often made mistake, and the one that will give you the biggest bang for your buck by fixing. The first one is using confusing business jargon language instead of using simple customer-focused language. As an expert in what you do, it's easy to forget that your customers don't always speak the same language that you do in your business. So if I started using words like CTA, white space, bounce rate, it's going to start turning off my visitors. So maybe the audience knows the terminology that you're using, or maybe they don't, or maybe they think they do, but they actually don't. Either way, using language that doesn't resonate with your audience and is different than the language they would use is going to create a divide in connection versus using language that does resonate with your audience, which will deepen that connection because they will feel like you understand them, and it will create a much better connection and inherently increase your trust factor. So for example, instead of saying stuff like, we offer comprehensive life-changing transformations, say, we help you lose that unwanted weight and feel comfortable in your clothes. You just want to be clear and right to the point. And yes, I am guilty of this too. We all are. So this is just a reminder to go in and check the language that you are using on your website. Number 2 is using a confusing navigation. So what people are typically doing wrong when it comes to their main navigation is they are putting everything on the top line. I'm sure you've seen it where you go to a website and their main navigation is just full of everything on the very top line. Their main navigation. Or their navigation is very unorganized, like you don't know where to go to get what, everything's just kind of everywhere. And thirdly, just too many pages. There's just too many items in the navigation, making it difficult to find anything. So here's how you fix it. Only put the most important pages in your navigation. If you have other pages, you can link to them in the body of the page or even in the footer. Break up your navigation into logical sections and organize them in drop downs. Next is to make sure that you don't make your drop down list too long. Next is you want to keep the text in the navigation short. So instead of having big long text for each thing, make it very short and to the point. And then lastly, be sure to include your main call to action in your navigation. Okay, number 3 on this list is focusing on the features instead of explaining the benefits to your customers. Okay, so first off, what are features? What are benefits? Features are items that your service or product contain. Benefits are what the user will experience or gain from these items. So let's take headphones, for example. A feature would be noise cancellation. The benefit would be blocking out the outside world and immersing yourself into an audio experience. So what people are doing wrong on their website is they are putting the features first or only focusing on the features. When it comes to our services or our products, it's just really easy for us to focus on the features because that's typically, as the business owner, what we are focused on. So to fix this, instead talk about what the user is going to get from your product or service. How will it make them feel? How will it make their life better? That's the benefit. Number 4 is having unclear or confusing call to actions. First off, a call to action is just where you're telling the visitor what action you want them to take. And how people get this wrong is they use words that are witty or unclear, or words that are too vague, like learn more or contact us. Or lastly, using misleading information. For example, if you're telling people to call you, but your call to action leads them to a form, or you're telling people to get a quote, but you send them to a form to schedule a consultation. The simple fix is to just be clear and descriptive on what your call to action actually is. Number 5 is overwhelming your visitor with a large block of text. This honestly is one of the most common mistakes I see in DIY websites. People don't want to have to read this huge wall of text to get the information from your website that they came there for. And this is often caused by just a lack of design knowledge. When it comes to your website content, you want to make it skimmable. Break up your content into easily consumable blocks. I recommend having a clear title that explains what that content section is about. If you need to add more text, then consider adding a link to where they can go read more. Then you want to be sure to use an image or an icon that correlates to that content. This helps provide separation from the other content and cohesion to the content you want them to focus on. Here's some examples. Here's a section on the homepage of SEMrush. In this section, they have a title, they have some content, and a call to action with an image. Here's another section. Title, easy to consume content, a call to action, image. Here's another one. Title, a little bit of verbiage, and a supporting image. And lastly, another one, a title, some verbiage, a call to action, and supporting image. And number 6 is a lack of human and personal connection. People want to do business with people. When your website lacks that human and personal connection, then it comes off as sterile and untrustworthy because people just don't see who they're going to be doing business with. The easiest way to fix this is just to add pictures of yourself and your team, or maybe even pictures of around your office. And if you can do a video with you in it, that's even better. And if you can't do pictures of yourself or your team, then at least use stock photos with people in it. All right, and that brings us to number 7, which is using the wrong images. Using images on your website can be a powerful way to convey emotion and enhance your content. Examples of wrong images would be blurry images, low quality images, confusing or images that don't fit with the content, overly stock-like images, and images that convey the wrong emotions. You want to use images that will convey the emotion that your customers will have when working with you. They should be clear and high quality, and it's okay to use stock photos. Just try to use images that aren't too over the top or scream stock photo. So another concept that I've recently learned is that if you use overly excited people on your website, it can come off as fake. And that can subconsciously convey the notion that the other information on that page is not true or untrustworthy. All right, number 8 is not providing a secondary call to action. Look, 80 to 90% of your website visitors are not ready to take action right now, or at least on their first visit. What is often overlooked is providing a secondary call to action, allowing you to capture their email address and continue the conversation. We like to do this through what is called a lead magnet. This is where you provide some sort of value in exchange for an email address. Typically, this looks like some sort of downloadable where they give you their email address, then they go into your marketing automation software, and then they are delivered your resource, and then followed by an automated nurture sequence, driving them to your next step. All right, number 9 is having complicated forms. I can't tell you how many websites I've built where the client has come to me with the form that they want on their website, and it looks like the form you would fill out on your first doctor visit. This is completely the wrong approach. You want to make the lead forms on your website as simple as possible. Only ask for the information that you absolutely need. You want to create as little friction as possible. Now, there can come a point in time where it does make sense to start adding a little friction into your forms. This can ensure higher quality form submissions, but 99% of the time, this should not be your focus. All right, and number 10 is the biggest and most frequently made mistake on websites, and that is not having a clear and prominent hero section on your homepage. The hero section is the very first section on your homepage right underneath the main navigation, and it's the most important section on your website. It needs to clearly explain what you do, the benefit you provide, and what action you want people to take. Here's an example. All right, as you can see, SEMrush homepage, the very first thing you get is the message, get measurable results from online marketing. Do SEO, content marketing, competitor research, PPC, and social media marketing from just one platform with a start now call to action. Super direct, to the point, telling you exactly what action they want you to take. And as a bonus, they even provide social proof. All right, there you have it. That is my list of the top 10 biggest mistakes people make on their website. So go fix these mistakes on your website. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.